BPMN2023. Okay, for the introduction, organizational behavior in a company is determined by how the organization interact within groups and the principles that they use to ensure their business operation become more effective. Our group had chosen one of the Shell company's branches as our problem-solving activity. Shell is a large corporation that provides services such as oil and gas exploration, production, refining, and marketing, as well as chemical manufacturing. SP Excellent Trading is the name of the branch that we interviewed by sending Google Form to its manager, which is Ms. Farah Aina binti Abdul Aziz, in order to collect primary data. The company is located at Section 7, Kota Damansara, Petaling Jaya. This branch employs 15 people, including the manager and part-time employees. Additionally, they work in scheduled shift and have 3 shifts per day. 3 to 4 people will work in one shift. The company's vision is to be a company with high standard in terms of manpower, services, and marketed products. And for the mission, the company's mission is to conduct business in accordance with Shell's generation business principles, which are honesty, high integration, and consumer respect.
A very good morning to doctor and my friends. My name is Tiong Si Jing and my metric number is 278783. Okay, now let me explain what is the main problem in company Shell. Firstly, as we know, no matter what kind of businesses or services we operate, there will always be a problem that affects the daily productivity of a company and the operation of the company. As for the company Shell, sometimes there will be a problem in the short term and also in the long term. For the problem in short term can be solved immediately, so the productivity of the company will not be much affected. On the other hand, if a company faces a tough problem in the long term, the top management need to analyze the problem first and then find some alternative to solve this problem carefully and make a decision to overcome this problem as soon as possible. So for the company Shell, they face a lot of problems during their operations, such as their team face problems with lack of manpower, insufficient stock, movement control order, which is MCO, and the stress of work. Through all of these problems, the company Shell stated the stress of work as their main problem. This can happen because during the pandemic of COVID-19, the Malaysia government was implementing the movement control order, which is MCO, which had a negative impact on their sales. This situation had caused them a lot of stress because during the MCO, fewer people were refilling their cars and the grocery inside the Shell shop could not be sold in large quantity, so that the revenue gain was decreased. In addition, the worker of Shell faces the problem of job stress because their salary has been reduced. For example, Shell employees were stressed because they still had to come for work with the lower wage. These situations actually will stresses them out because they didn't have enough money to cover all of their living expenses. Moreover, one person was given too much responsibility of work during MCO because of more than half of the worker was to resign. and these situations stresses them out because they need to do more jobs, which they are unable to do comfortably, because these situations is already beyond their personal capabilities. So, the sales manager stated that work-related stress was the main problem for them. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Aisha, metric number 281528. I'll be explaining about the factors that lead to our main problem, which is stress at work. The first factor is the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic has forced the government to execute movement control order, which caused a big reduction of customers. In this Shell branch, they experienced a significant loss during that period of time, apart from many challenges, including those related to health and safety, the supply chain, the workforce, cash flow, consumer demand, sales, and marketing. However, overcoming these obstacles does not guarantee a good future afterwards. It is due to the fact that once people have recovered from the pandemic, there will be a very different world than before the outbreak. They must develop new sales strategies because previous sales strategies may not have had the same effect. All of these worries have caused a lot of stress for everyone on the company. The second factor is task demand. All staff there have task demand. They are required by management to meet a specific sales target. To meet the goal, they must find ways to sell goods in the store more efficiently. When MCO was still in effect, the sales target was extremely difficult to achieve, putting the staff in a difficult position. Because the store has fewer customers, a new strategy is required. They must learn new skills in order to adapt to the situation. While workers may require challenging tasks to keep their interest and motivation up, as well as to learn new skills, it is critical that demands do not outweigh their coping ability. Workers can usually handle demanding work if it is not excessive, if they are backed and supported by supervisors and co-workers. Besides, the feeling of not knowing where the job will take them and whether the activities and tasks will change will exist in the presence of task demand. This uncertainty causes stress that manifests itself in feeling of lack of control, concern about career advancement, and time constraints. Next is heavy workload. This Shell branch has long struggled with a staffing shortage. As a result, the staff was required to perform additional work. Due to the volume of work, the staff felt rushed and under pressure. However, they are required to complete the workload because it is frequently associated with commitment and citizenship behavior in organization. In 2019, LinkedIn Learning conducted a survey with 2,843 professionals. It reveals that nearly half of the respondents experienced workplace stress, with the first source of stress being their workload. This has demonstrated that increased workload causes stress in many workers. Managing a heavy workload may allow employees to accomplish more without depending on others, but it also has a negative impact. Working for an extended period of time increases the likelihood of stress and burnout in the long run. The last factor is conflict with co-worker. This can occur as a result of a disagreement between two or more people. When someone expresses their own opinion or shares their opinion with others, all workers should hear with an open mind. If they believe the opinion of their colleague is not appropriate, they can simply smile and say in a polite manner that they do not agree. They should be careful not to be too aggressive because people will feel uncomfortable and offended, resulting in conflict between colleagues. Another factor of stress.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nasafia Ais Abinti alias. My matric number is 28052. I will continue to present the consequences of work stress. Stress can be a good thing as well as we sometimes need a driving force to keep active and responsible for finishing a task. But having too much stress can also have a bad effect on an individual. The consequences that often occur are lower job performance, poor work-life balance, effect on the physical health of an individual, and job dissatisfaction. Firstly, lower job performance. The cumulative impact of small stressor has a large impact on the organization and the employees. When the employees are affected by stress, it will affect their productivity. The stress can be caused by failure to meet their sales target due to the pandemic that occurred. They also had the issue of not having enough stock for certain items. Failure to keep the inventory under control, particularly for high demand items, become a source of stress for the employee. A high level of stress can affect an employee's performance. The net consequences is that stress at work affects the work-life balance. Work-life balance refers to the act of balancing our time and mental capacity spent on work and life outside the work. It can cause stress because the employee needs to complete all tasks and assignments on time while also have energy to devote to personal interests, hobbies, family and friends. Career demand and personal demands are also be a constant challenge to them. And having an extra workload due to the shortage of staff in the company makes it difficult to balance their work and personal life. Other than that, work stress can also affect the physical health of individuals. Some of stress could also be because the task requirements do not match their capability or they fail to meet the job requirements. Work-related stress is a major factor in the development of cardiovascular disease, such as high blood cholesterol, obesity, high blood pressure, stroke, and others. Last but not least, the effect of work stress is job dissatisfaction. Job dissatisfaction will make workers unable to complete their tasks efficiently, which will affect the organization's reputation. It will also affect the organization's productivity. The employee can also be dissatisfied if the expectation can't be met. This dissatisfaction can also influence both productivity goals and decline. Due to the issue, the company will also be unable to meet their objective. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you to the previous presenter. Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Nur Syafiqah binti Mustafa. My number is 2804N79. So next, I'm going to be presenting about the recommendations or suggestion solutions that are being suggested by the company itself and also from us to solve the problems that the company are currently facing. Alright, so first of all, the manager itself told us that they have used the goal setting theory to overcome their problems. So goal setting theory is basically defined as the theory that based on specific and also measurable goals are more effective than setting an unclear goals. So the manager had started to set up the SMART goals to overcome the obstacle that were faced in the organizations during the MCO situation. So by setting up the goals, the employee itself had guides and also directions to perform each task to meet the SMART goals that being set by the manager itself. Next, the recommendations that did by the company itself and also the manager itself are organizational communication. The manager used this method to overcome the issue raised between the employees. Therefore, it will decrease the level of work stress between the employee itself. It actually shows that the leader, the manager, are taking care of the employees' feelings as they heard and listen every single concern that raises from the employee itself. So by this means, the manager is actually taking care of the employees' concerns. So it will help the employees to release their stress when they're working. Alright, so for the third recommendations are the suggestions by our team, which are maintain physical exercise and also having a good nutrition. So this is because exercise is actually a very excellent stress reliever. So for example, yoga, badminton, basketball, netball, all of this exercise could help. Besides that, having an sufficient sleep is also very important to maintain a good health. And in order to maintain a good nutrition, restrict from drinking caffeine, but take more fruits or also supplements to maintain a good nutrition for our health. Alright, so lastly, improve work-life balances. So an individual should strive to work smart, not hard. This includes prioritize the tasks and allocate specific amount of time to complete them. It will help them become more productive and less stressful because everything is under their control. Everything is under their planning. So when you have planned out everything, you will be less stressful and more productive to complete each of your tasks because you have everything planned out during it. So by this way, it can also reduce the work stress level. So I think that's all for me. I will pass it to the next presenter. Thank you.
In conclusion, most established businesses have experienced organizational problems. In this case, the main problem of the company is stress at work due to surrounding. However, some stress is beneficial. It is because it will push us to peak attentiveness, behavioral and cognitive performance. They will also improve feelings of accomplishment and fulfillment when increasing autonomy and responsibility at work. Despite that, the degree to which organization learns and adapts to changing external conditions to handle the stress will be determined by management policies and practices.